So let's start talking about circles now in this video. To start with, we'll go ahead and draw a circle, okay? And each circle has a few components to it. We have the center of a circle, okay? And we have something called the radius of a circle. This is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circle itself, okay? So this is the radius of a circle, okay? And this is often given by the letter r, okay? We also have something called the diameter of the circle, okay? The diameter of the circle is the distance across the circle from any point to its point directly across from that point, okay? And it has to pass through the center of the circle, okay? One more thing. The center of the circle is given by the point HK. All right? That's our center. It's given by the point HK. An equation for a circle is given by x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where r is the radius and h and k are the center. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to try to write the equation for a circle where we're given the center and it passes through some point on. So basically, okay, sorry, let me back up a little bit. We're going to be writing an equation for a circle given its center and some point on the circle itself. Okay, so let's take a look at an example here. So it says write an equation for a circle that has center 1, 1 and passes through the point 0, -2. Okay, so in order to write an equation here, we have to deduce a little bit from the information that we're given. Okay, so we have the center, so we have that h is 1. Well, let's write this out. So we have the center is equal to h k is equal to 1, 1. So we know that, therefore, h equals 1 and k equals 1. Okay, that's easy. We don't have the radius, so we have almost everything, and we're really just missing r, okay? But to find the radius, we can find, if we go back and look at our picture here, we can see the radius is the distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circle, okay? So, here, we know that the circle passes through the point 0, -2. So let's draw this out. All right, we have this is our circle. Okay, this is our center. Oh, all right, and then we have the point 0, -2 here. And we want to find the radius. Well, in a previous video, we talked about how to find the distance between 2 points. Okay, and if we recall, our distance formula is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so or the square root of all of that. Okay, so let's go ahead uh, and do this. So we'll say we want to find the distance between the point 1, 1 and 0, -2. Here we'll say that x1 is 1 and y1 is 1. So we're basically labeling the center at point 1 here. Okay, and we're going to say that x2 is equal to 0 and y2 is equal to -2. So, given that, let's go ahead and find the distance. So we have d, or in this case, r, is given by x2 minus x1. So we have 0 minus 1 squared plus y2 minus y1. So we have negative 2 minus 1 squared. We have the square root of negative 1 squared plus negative 2 minus 1, that's negative 3 squared, which is the square root of just 1 plus 9, or the square root of 10. Okay, so we know that our radius is the square root of 10. So now we can actually write the equation for our circle. So we know that h is 1, we have k is 1, and we also have r is the square root of 10. So now we can take the equation for our circle, which we decided up here was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So we have x minus h, which we said was 1 squared, plus y minus k, which is also 1 squared, is equal to r squared, or the square root of 10 squared. So then we get x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 10, because the square cancels out the square root. And there we go. This is the equation for our circle. Let's try another one. Here we have that we want to write an equation for a circle with a center of 6, negative 4 that passes through the point 3, 2. Let's move this down. Okay, so it's the exact same setup as before. We just have to find, we're given h and k just by default, saying this is the center. So we know that h is equal to 6 and k is equal to negative 4, since the center is given by hk. Okay, but now we know that the circle passes through the point 3, 2. So let's find the distance from the center to the point 3, 2. So we have the radius is equal to the distance between these 2 points. So let's say that this is x1, y1. We'll say this is x2, y2. So we have x2 minus x1. We have 3 minus 6 squared plus y2 minus y1. So now we have 2 minus a negative 4. We'll square that. So now we have the square root of negative 3 squared plus 2 minus a negative 4. That's going to be 2 plus 4, or 6. So now we have 6 squared. Or we have the square root of 9 plus 36. Or we have the square root of 45. Now, just a little bit of advice here. I actually wouldn't necessarily simplify this. You might be able to simplify this a little further. You can actually. You can simplify this a little bit, but I wouldn't. And the reason is that in these situations, you're going to go back and square the square root when you find the radius here. So you should leave it alone as is. And we'll see that now. So we have that our equation for our circle is given by x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to our radius squared. So we have x minus 6 squared plus y minus a negative 4 squared is equal to r squared, or the square root of 45 squared. See, if you were to simplify this, you're actually just making it more difficult for yourself here. So my advice to you is don't simplify everything until you get to the very end, unless you have good reason to do so. So this is actually just going to be x minus 6 squared. Okay, we have y minus a negative 4, so this will be y plus 4 squared is equal to the square root of 45 squared, or just 45. So there we go. This is the equation for our circle. Okay, so let's say maybe you're given the radius. Okay, this is a little bit easier. If you have the circle and you're given the radius, this is fairly simple. Okay, so we have the center is 8, -5. So we have h k is -5, and I said h was 8. And our radius is 2, so r equals 2. So we have x minus h, or x minus 8 squared, plus y minus k, or y minus a -5 squared, is equal to r squared, or in this case, 2 squared. So we're going to then end up with x minus 8 squared plus y plus 5 squared. And we get that because y minus a -5 is y plus 5. And we have 2 squared, so that's equal to 4. So this would be the equation for our circle. Seems like it's a little bit easier, right? Well, sometimes it's given in a slightly different form. So here we have the equation. We want to find the equation for a circle with center 9, 3 and diameter 10. Okay, so now we have to figure out the radius from the diameter. So let's go back up here to our initial circle that we drew. Okay, hopefully it's pretty easy to see that the radius is always half of the diameter. Okay, so if you were to say this is the radius here, right? Hopefully it's fairly easy to see that that is half of the diameter. Okay, so to find the radius, we just divide the diameter by 2. So we have the center okay, which is hk. So h is 9 and k is 3. And our radius equals diameter divided by 2, or in this case, 10 divided by 2, which is just 5. So the equation for our circle is going to be x minus 9 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared, or 25. So there we go. There's a quick introduction for how we can write the equation for a circle in different situations.